Hey guys, how's it going? I'm recovering from being sick, so I just want to say that first and foremost. If I sound weird, that's why. So let's get talking. Alright, so this is about, is Superman a ripoff? Now I'll talk about classic Superman, Action Comics number 1, 1934 Superman. I'll talk about the modern Superman as we know him today. So, I just want to say first and foremost, before we begin, obviously I'm aware that people get very, very heated on topics such as Superman-related topics like this. I like the character of Superman. I'm not purposefully targeting Superman. I'm just trying to, spur conversation down below in the comments, things like that. However, I encourage, like I said, like a few seconds ago, comments, things like that, but do not go out blasting people and trying to just, I want conversations. I don't want arguments where someone has no evidence. So basically what I'm saying here is if you're going to comment below arguing with everybody, have evidence, have a valid argument, or get out. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Because I already can see it now. All the spam arguments, all the spam comments, and it would just be, it's not worth dealing with if I can just say it now. So let's get on to it. Superman, introduced in 1934 in Action Comics number 1 by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. He's very popular, considered to be the first superhero. However, that's incorrect. The first superhero is actually someone named Hugo Danner from the book written in 1930 by Philip Wiley called Gladiator. Now, let me tell you guys about Hugo Danner. He was created, like I just said, in 1930. He comes from Colorado, rural Colorado. His father's a scientist. His father was, doing experimentation on improving humanity, basically. In the process, Hugo Danner is born with superhuman strength, the ability to leap great heights and distances, run extraordinarily fast. Also has superhuman durability and healing. What does this sound like to you? Action Comics number 1 Superman. Also, he was raised with an incredibly strong moral compass and definitely fought against, the Nazis and whatnot in World War One. Not Nazis, but he, was in service in World War One and all that good stuff. And also he was supposed to be involved in, further things, but obviously he eventually left and he tried being a good guy. Sadly though, the world wasn't ready, yada yada. Let's go to Superman. So, Superman is introduced in 1934. Superhuman strength, speed, leaping, durability. Raised with a strong moral compass in rural America, just like Hugo Danner. Hugo Danner, interestingly enough, a lot of people thought he was an alien for a while. I recommend you guys read the book too. The only reason why is because when he would, say where he's from, when people would ask him about his abilities, he would say he's from a rural place. Not rural place, but he's from a far place, where there's other people like him. And he'd say that because first off, he didn't want people to know he was a product of experimentation. But it's very similar to Superman. He's an alien. Other people from where he's from were like him, things like that. And people were always talking, is Hugo Danner the precursor to Superman? Does Superman rip off Hugo Danner? Because Hugo Danner was a character in a book. May I remind everybody, he wasn't a comic book character. He's from a book called Gladiator. It's not a weekly comic book strip. It's not a monthly comic book. It's a novel. And he's a protagonist of said novel. So a lot of people, obviously, they compared it to, which they should. The similarities are definitely there. Honestly, Action Comics number 1 Superman, I think, is a ripoff of Hugo Danner. If not a heavy inspiration. So, now that I've said that, and you guys are probably like, what? No, that's not true. Like I said before, comment below, and also be informed. Go read Gladiator now. Go read Action Comics number 1 Superman. Because, honestly, the similarities are there. So let's talk about modern Superman at this point. So, modern day Superman. He has flight, X-ray vision, heat vision. He didn't have all those at first. Let's go to Golden Age. Golden Age, we have Captain Marvel from Fawcett Comics. He's the big man. And by big man, I mean he has the TV show. He's outselling everybody in the book sales. He's everywhere. He's the man. You know how Spider-Man, Batman, Superman are the big guys today. At that time, Captain Marvel was the shit, basically. Golden Age, he ruled it. Let's talk about Captain Marvel. Billy Batson turns into Captain Marvel, gets powers by several fictional / mythological deities, or powerful figures, I should say, because Solomon's not a god. He has flight, strength, durability, speed, enhanced intelligence, to some degree, arguably. And that's about it, really. A lot of people call him Magical Superman today. But when he was first introduced, he had every single power he's ever had as Captain Marvel. I'm not talking about Shazam, I'm talking about Captain Marvel. Superman, at that time. And also Captain Marvel's the big, he's a little kid. He's kind, he's optimistic. Superman's not like that. Superman doesn't have flight. Superman, he can leap farther, but he doesn't have flight. Superman doesn't have heat vision, X-ray vision yet. Superman's a bit of a rebel at times. He was raised on a moral compass. He does what's considered the right thing, but he has no problem, doing it a little bit rough. Fawcett Comics gets sued by DC Comics. DC Comics does not win the lawsuit, but Fawcett Comics goes broke. DC Comics buys Fawcett Comics. Captain Marvel is buried for a while. During this time period, Superman gains flight. Superman becomes the big blue Boy Scout. Extra vision and heat vision aren't there yet. Lex Luthor, Superman's big villain, is a bald mad scientist. Very akin to Captain Marvel's nemesis, Dr. Savannah, a bald mad scientist. The similarities are there. A lot of people argue today about this. Is Superman, as we know him today, based off a ripoff of Captain Marvel? Obviously, it paid off for DC. Superman started selling like wildfire, and eventually, he gained more abilities. He became the hero he is today. Captain Marvel was introduced back into comics a bit later. Forevermore seen by most people as Electric Superman. Very few remember how popular he was in the Golden Age. You'd have to be like at least in your 40s nowadays for most people to remember. So I leave you guys in the comments to argue, to discuss, debate this. Is the original Action Comics Superman a ripoff of Hugo Danner? And is the original Superman we know today based off a ripoff of Captain Marvel? I don't know why I've had so many long pauses, but comment below, guys. Alright, so yeah, try my seriousness, but I don't like being serious like that. So anyways, like I said before, I sound a little bit weird. I'm finding it cold, so I do apologize. But yeah, comment below with your guys' thoughts. Do you think he's a ripoff of those characters? Do you think they're a ripoff of him? Reversely, vice versa. How do you guys feel on the matter? I know a lot of people have strong opinions, and I want to hear them. So see you guys later.